Hey everybody,
Hello friends, pleased to hear.
Craig here,
Haynes will travel.
D for Life Fitness.
In this episode, we're going to give you a rundown on paid membership for camping Harvest Host and what not to do so that you end up in the pickle we ended up in.
Yes, on our journeys this season, we had a few Harvest Hosts.
Yes, and we'll share
And
some
majority
of our
of them were all
favorites.
great.
But this hiccup was on us, and we'll share that with you in this episode. So stay tuned.
Peace.
Okay, so let's start with what is a Harvest Host. So Harvest Host is a membership-based camping, basically is what it is. So you buy the membership for Harvest Host, and there are different tiers, and I'll go through those in a little bit. The membership will allow you to camp for free at wineries and businesses of different sorts. So wineries and breweries and people's houses if you choose that tier, maybe a farm, golf courses if you choose to go into that tier. Oh gosh, I mean the list is unlimited, really. You'll get an app and it'll show you where all the hosts are throughout where your travel routes are going, where you're traveling through. So it is quite easy to use, and it helps you plan your trip, and it's amazing. And I'm also going to share some of our favorite places that we've stayed, and share some of those stories with you as well. So stay tuned. So basically what a Harvest Host is a paid membership that gives you access to farms and wineries and breweries and golf courses. Community hosts giving members a safe, convenient, unique places to stay while you travel. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You pay a membership fee for the tier that you want, and then you download the Harvest Host app and you start planning your trip. And it's as simple as that. Okay, I am going to refer to my notes because I don't want to get any of this wrong. The different tiers of Harvest Host. The first one is the All Access membership, which includes Harvest Host, Boondockers Welcome, golf courses, campgrounds, and Escapees RV Club. Just to explain that a little bit further, Harvest Host is camping at businesses. So you will call up a Harvest Host business and say it's a winery. And you'll go and you'll stay at the winery. The hope is that you'll support, well, the expectation is actually, that you'll support the business. So you camp for free, but you support the business. So if you go to a winery, maybe you'll take the winery tour, or you'll buy a bottle of wine or something like that. So really, you're camping for free and you're supporting a business and getting something in return. So it's kind of a cool concept, really, when you think about it. It's a win-win situation. The second part of that All Access is Boondockers Welcome. Boondockers Welcome is like personal properties. So say, for instance, if I had a spot on my property that was big enough for a 30-foot camper, I would sign up to be a host and say that you could come to my property and I would give you a safe haven place to stay overnight, and it would cost you nothing. If I offer you power or water or septic or some kind of thing like that, maybe there's a small fee that we would hope that you would donate to us to help our cost on that. But honestly, you get to meet fellow campers. It's wonderful. I don't know. I can't say anything more else about it. It's safe. It's fun. You meet new people. It's great. It's a great concept. And then there's golf courses. So we've done that actually, where they've parked us right on the golf course. Like basically the one golf course that we stayed at, we were right on the 16th hole, and we were watching people golf. And they actually gave us a golf cart to drive around in. And all we did was we played 9 holes of golf. So like, talk about a win-win situation. We got to stay on a beautiful golf course, watch people golf ourselves. They ended up having a concert that night that we heard right from our campers. So we didn't even have to pay the tickets to hear the music. It was amazing. Set up our barbecue. We had supper. It was fabulous. Fabulous. So really think about adding that to your membership if you decide on a Harvest Host. Harvest Host also is partnered up with campgrounds. So there are certain campgrounds that have partnered up with Harvest Host that'll give you a discount on your rate when you stay there. So you get all the same amenities that anybody else would get at a discounted rate. And the final part of that all access pass was the Escapees RV Club. Escapees is another paid membership. So you can actually just get an Escapees RV Club membership. I did not. I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really give you a whole lot of details on that. However, it is basically reduced rate on camping for Escapees. And they also offer some discounts on different products and that sort of thing. So that's kind of a nice addition as well. You'll get the All Access Pass Harvest Host membership for $152.15 annually. And once you buy your membership, that price is locked in for you for life. So as long as you keep renewing every year, you will only ever pay $152.15 US annually for the All Access Pass Harvest Host membership. The second tier of membership you can have is Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome. So the same thing, the subscriptions are the same, all the same, but it's just that's your membership. You would have access to Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome. So that would show up on your app, all the Harvest Hosts and the Boondocker Welcome partners that they have available for you to book camping. That is $143.65 annually. So really, what is that? $43.52. That's not even $10 more a year. You can have the All Access Pass. Something to think about for sure. And the final tier they have is the Harvest Host Classic. And that's Harvest Host plus the campground partners. So you would get the Harvest Host, all the businesses that have signed up to be a host at Harvest Host for you to visit, and the campground partner. So discounts on some of the campgrounds that have partnered up with Harvest Host. And you can get that membership for $84.15 US dollars a year. Now, there may be some questions about how long you can stay, what size of rig can you have, and all of that kind of depends on the hosts themselves. Typically, it's meant that you'd stay one night. However, there are hosts that will allow you to stay longer. Typically, if you stay longer, though, there's a minimal charge. We've ran across $10 a night, $15 a night. Sometimes they're a little more. Depends on what kind of business it is, what they have to offer. And, it kind of varies. But they do have it in their description, which you'll find on your app when you're looking for your different hosts to stay along your route. What kind of rig do you need? Pretty much anything goes if you're self-sufficient. So you can have no type of tenting, no type of like sleeping in your car or anything like that. You have to have bathroom facilities and be self-sufficient. You can't be knocking on your host door and want to use their facilities, this sort of thing. So that's the only real limitation. We had have a 38-foot fifth wheel, and we didn't have any issues finding hosts. In their description, they'll have what size of rig they can accommodate. Also, too, in the app, you can put filters. So you'll put all the information for your rig, however big or small or whatever size you are, and whether you have a generator, you don't, slide outs or you don't, or pets or you don't, all those things. And then the app allows you to filter out the hosts that will accommodate what you need for what you have to camp in. Another thing that you might be concerned about is hookups. So some hosts have no hookups, so you're depending on your holding tanks and your water tanks and all that kind of thing, and generators if you have one. And some hosts will actually offer typically it's for a small fee, and I'm talking like $5-10 a night, like very little. They'll offer you we've had 30 and 50 amps of power. Water services, like you can get your tanks filled up where you can hook up to water. We've had dumping stations on site as well. It's been it's all over the place. So you really have to look into the description to see what they have to offer and if there's a cost or not a cost. So I did mention generators. Not all hosts allow generators, but most will. So when you're booking, when you go through your app and you're booking with a host that you want to stay there and you feel like you're going to need to use your generator, you just let them know ahead of time. And that way they know where to park you. If there's maybe there'll be multiple campers coming in for the night because they have an area that's big enough to host 2 or 3 different campers. They might put you away from the campers that aren't going to use a generator, just, for noise sake. Earlier, I talked about the different tiers and how much they cost on an annual basis. It's an annual basis because you can use your membership all year round. So, we used ours when we were in the States in January and February and March, right? But in Canada, I'm not using it in January. I mean, I have a 4-season trailer, but I'm not camping in January in Canada. But you can use it all year round. So it is an annual membership because it is usable for the whole entire year. I will advise that you pre-book your stays with your hosts if you can. A lot of hosts will say that they take same-day reservations, which is very convenient, especially when you're on the road. However, if you're planning and you can book ahead, that's much better for everybody because there's a plan. The host knows that you're coming and everybody's kind of on the same page, and that makes things a whole lot easier. We've had great experience with the app and the host getting back to us, and we've had so many wonderful stays. And we're going to share a few of those with you now because I feel like it'll be helpful to let you know what it's like. And honestly, it is a great program. So, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer what I can. If I can't, I'll try to find the answer for you. And if I can't do that, then, I can just give you a number and you can call and get the answers yourself from the horse's mouth, shall we say. I'm going to share with you now some of the harvest hosts that we stayed at, and I hope you enjoy it. Stay to the end so I can also share with you what not to do. Currently, you can see that we're at an alpaca farm. This was super, super fun. We got a visit from their dog, and she came over to visit us for a little bit. We got to actually walk the babies to the farm on the next morning and get them weighed in. How cool is that for an experience? Here you can see we're at a golf course. This is the one that they gave us a golf cart to use for the day while we were there. We enjoyed 9 holes of golf. And later that day, enjoyed a barbecue and then some nighttime music from the band that was playing. In this stop, we stayed at a maple syrup farm. You can see how cool of a spot we got there. Look at the view. This host was amazing too. One of Craig's favorites. He took us around, showed us how the maple syrup was processed. He drove us on his side-by-side through the trails, showing us the taps and how they all worked and explaining the process, all for the low price of a delicious bottle of maple syrup. This next one was certainly a little different. It was the Field of Dreams Drive-In. We were the only ones there as there wasn't a show playing that night, but look at how nice the spot was that we got to stay in. Isn't that beautiful and peaceful? The sunset was amazing. And here we are parked at the Duesenberg Museum, Indiana. We have a full video on this one, so be sure to go back and check it out because, oh my gosh. Oh, here's Craig's favorite car. And here's mine. Tell us what you think. This is the final one that I'm going to share with you. It's Zion Cliff Lodge in Utah. And man, what an experience that was. Again, we have a full video on this, and trust me, you'll want to go and check that one out for sure. It was such an experience. It was definitely a place that we will never forget. And now for the most valuable tip that I'll ever be able to give you about what not to do when utilizing your Harvest Host membership. Hey everyone. So yesterday we learned a very valuable lesson, which you would think would be something that we would have already known anyway. However, we were supposed to stay at a Harvest Host last night, and we picked the Harvest Host, we put it in our GPS, we got the address from the host, we put that in the GPS. However, we picked south instead of north in the address. Pay attention to detail, people. Pay attention to details. So when we got to what we thought was the address, it looked like super sketchy. And luckily, Craig made a very good decision quickly and didn't turn down the driveway that we thought was the address, because it was really sketchy. And if we had got down there, we never would have got back in. So thank God that Craig made a quick, smart decision. Well, anyway, we phoned the host and they were very, very helpful. He actually sent me a pin. When he sent me the pin, I could tell that we were an hour past our host. So we had to, unfortunately, cancel that stay. And they were very gracious about it. They were wonderful. And we ended up at a truck stop just about 3 hours from our final destination in Alice, Texas. And it's called, Craig, what's the name of that? Tex what?
Tex Best.
Tex Best. Now, we did fuel up at another Tex Best. It is also a truck stop. And so I would recommend if you need a truck stop, if you need an overnight stay.
Exxon is the name of the fuel.
Exxon's the fuel, but Tex Best is the name of the truck stop. There's enough space here. Well, in this one, anyways, in Alice, I'm gonna say maybe for like maybe 8 or 10 vehicles of our size, and that we stayed here. Now it was a little noisy, of course. It's a truck stop, but it was a safe place to stop. We were here, spent the night, got some coffees this morning. Now we're waiting for our buddies James and Janet to show up, and we're gonna go to Whataburger for lunch. All good. However, pay attention to detail. Can't stress it enough. Until we see you again, keep living life one adventure at a time.